Hello everyone. Some television shows make us laugh. Some become classics, but only a handful carve themselves into the heart of American culture, and Sanford and Son was one of them. Week after week, the nation tuned in to watch Fred Sanford raise chaos in that dusty junkyard, while Lamont tried desperately to keep his father and his life together. But while America laughed, something far darker was happening off-screen. Behind the comedy were battles with addiction, broken marriages, financial collapse, shocking deaths, and emotional wounds that never healed. Today, we pull back the curtain on the real lives of the cast of Sanford and Son 1972 to 1978. Their stories are full of triumph, tragedy, and secrets fans never saw. This is the untold truth, raw, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. The story begins with Red Fox, born John Elroy Sanford in St. Louis, Missouri. At 50 years old, he stepped into the role of Fred G. Sanford, the sharp-tongued junk dealer who turned complaining into an art form. His timing was flawless, his insults iconic, and his chemistry with the cast electric. But when the studio lights went off, the man who made millions laugh struggled through a life filled with turmoil. Shows like The Red Fox Show and The Royal Family failed to capture the magic of his earlier success. As his fame faded, his personal life spiraled. Years of alcohol abuse, drug use, and reckless spending dragged him down until the IRS raided his home, stripping him of nearly everything. His marriages were marked by heartbreak and conflict. His final wife, Kaho Cho, stayed by his side as he battled stress, depression, and financial ruin. On October 11, 1991, while rehearsing for The Royal Family, he collapsed from a heart attack, a tragic twist. After decades of jokingly faking heart attacks on television, he died at 68, nearly broke, and it was Eddie Murphy who paid for his funeral. The world lost a comedic genius, but behind the laughter lived a man whose heart carried more pain than anyone knew. Next was Demond Wilson, who played Lamont Sanford, the frustrated but loving son who balanced his father's fire with patience and reason. At just 26, Wilson became one of the most recognizable young stars in America. But after the show ended, Hollywood offered him little. He was typecast as the TV son, and his new projects like Baby, I'm Back, and The New Odd Couple failed to attract audiences. Depression hit him hard. Addiction followed. His first marriage crumbled, and the promising future he once held slipped away. Yet Wilson discovered redemption and faith. He became an evangelical minister, sobered up, wrote books, and rebuilt his life from the ground up. Today, living quietly in California with his wife and children, Demond Wilson represents a rare story of rebirth among the cast, a man who stepped out of the darkness and embraced peace. Few characters were as iconic as Aunt Esther Anderson, played brilliantly by LaWanda Page, with her fierce sermons, Bible-swinging threats, and unforgettable clashes with Fred Sanford. She became the soul of comedic confrontation. But behind her fiery humor was a life marked by suffering. She married at 14 to a much older, violent man, enduring years of emotional and physical trauma. Later marriages failed as well, leaving deep scars. Hollywood's discrimination pushed her into smaller and smaller roles after Sanford and Son ended. She struggled financially, emotionally, and spiritually, watching the career she loved slip away. Her health deteriorated over time, and on September 14, 2002, she died at 81, leaving behind a legacy filled with laughter, but shadowed by pain. The gentle, lovable Bubba Bexley, played by Don Bexley, filled the show with warmth, but his life after the series was heartbreaking. He faced financial hardship as roles grew scarce. His long marriage to Ruth, filled with love during their early years, crumbled under stress and money issues. Later marriages didn't last, and loneliness became a constant companion. He kept writing scripts, hoping for a comeback that never arrived. On April 15, 1997, he passed away at 87. His final years were quiet and sorrowful, a stark contrast to the joy he brought viewers. Whitman Mayo, the legendary Grady Wilson, made millions laugh with his gentle humor and his famous line, "Good goobly goop." But his success on the show became both a blessing and a burden. His spin-off series Grady ended abruptly after low ratings. Hollywood offered him fewer roles, and he felt the pressure of fading relevance. Financial struggles weighed heavily on him, contributing to chronic stress and health issues. His personal life endured turmoil, including failed marriages. Only his final wife, Gail Reed, stood by him through the storm. On May 22, 2001, He passed away at 70 from a heart attack, worn down by years of battling stress and debt. As Officer Smitty, Hal Williams brought calm wisdom to the chaos of Sanford and Son. He found steady work after the show, including a memorable role in the sitcom 127, but the financial rewards were modest. He worked tirelessly in commercials, voice acting, and any roles he could find to stay afloat. Nathaniel Taylor, who played the slick, smooth, and mischievous Rollo Lawson, faced a difficult journey. Fans adored him, but producers refused to see him as anything beyond Rollo. Acting opportunities dried up. Addiction and debt overtook him. In 1986, he was arrested for theft, a devastating blow that nearly ruined his life. His long marriage to Loretta Taylor, with whom he raised 7 children, suffered under the weight of financial and emotional turmoil. Yet in his later years, he worked to redeem himself by teaching young actors, hoping to give them opportunities he never received. He died on February 27, 2019 at 80, mourned by his family and fans who never forgot the lovable troublemaker he played. As the awkward but lovable Officer Hoppy Hopkins, Howard Platt brought a special charm to the series, but his personal life was filled with heartache. Two marriages ended painfully, leaving lasting emotional wounds. Hollywood gradually turned away, and he found solace in theater and teaching. He wrote music, directed plays, and inspired young performers. Today, at 87, he lives quietly in Illinois, grateful that fans still appreciate the warmth he brought to his character. Gregory Sierra gave life to Julio Fuentes, the kind-hearted Puerto Rican neighbor who always remained patient with Fred's biting jokes. Sierra's acting talent earned him major roles in Barney Miller and Hill Street Blues, but Hollywood repeatedly typecast him as the Latin hothead, limiting his opportunities. The loss devastated him. He withdrew from the spotlight, taking only occasional roles and living a life of solitude. Cancer eventually overtook him, and he died on January 4, 2021. At 83, holding the hand of his final wife, Helen Tabor, graceful and elegant Lynn Hamilton, who played Donna Harris, brought warmth and heart to Fred's world. But Hollywood often sidelined her. When Sanford returned in 1980 without asking her to reprise her role, she was deeply hurt. Yet her personal life brought stability. Her marriage to writer Frank Jenkins lasted 49 years, providing a foundation of love and support. After his death, she lived peacefully in Chicago, dedicating time to charity and writing. On June 19, 2025, she passed away at 95, leaving behind a legacy built not only on talent, but on strength, grace, and resilience. Raymond Allen, known as the lovable and perpetually confused Uncle Woody Anderson, battled chronic health problems and alcoholism for years. His marriage to Barbara Williams collapsed, and he struggled to find work as Hollywood moved on. He survived through fan conventions and autograph signings, living quietly with failing health. He died on August 10, 2020, at 91, remembered fondly by those who cherished his gentle comedic presence. Before he became the legendary Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita played Achu, the witty Asian neighbor whose humor always caught Fred off guard. Morita's rise to stardom in Happy Days and The Karate Kid made him an international icon. But behind the fame were devastating battles. Two marriages ended in heartbreak, and alcoholism followed him until his final years. Living alone in Las Vegas, he worked on an unfinished script about an aging, forgotten actor, mirroring his own fears. He died on November 24, 2005, at 73, leaving behind a legacy cherished worldwide. Finally, the fearless comedian Slappy White, who played the hilarious Melvin, lived a life filled with both brilliance and heartbreak. After the show, his career faded as younger audiences struggled to connect with his style. Two marriages to legendary singers Laverne Baker and Pearl Bailey ended painfully. Alcohol became his escape until his heart finally gave out on November 7, 1995. At 70 for Dot, and then there was Marlene Clark, the elegant, intelligent Jana Lawson, who brought grace and love into Lamont's world. After the show, she shined in films like Ganya and Hess, but her personal life fell into turmoil. Her marriage to Billy D. Williams ended in heartbreak, and she retreated into a life of art and solitude. She died on May 18, 2023. At 85, the same day her co-star Jim Brown passed away, closing a poetic chapter in Hollywood history. These were the real stories behind the laughter, painful and unforgettable. The cast of Sanford and Son made millions smile, even as many of them faced struggles that broke their hearts. Some overcame, some found peace, others left us far too soon. But their legacy still lives on. Which cast member's journey moved you the most? Share your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching.